What is your first instinct when you see a pit bull?
I love dogs, and so I saw one yesterday, and I took a picture of it. His name was Zeke, I think, and he was a real big boy.
They're okay. I don't know what else to say.
Switch their cheeks.
How do I feel about pit bulls? I love dogs, and I really have had this little miniature schnauzer. This is my second one, and she's rather aggressive. She's very protective. So when you think about a pit bull, they are bred to be protected, and they're bred to be animals that have a tendency to not be particularly user-friendly, I should say. I don't think that all pit bulls are bad, and I definitely don't think they should be banned.
And their face is just kind of flat. I don't know, maybe they've been chasing parked cars or something.
Love. I've owned a pit bull myself, so I have a lot of love for pit bulls.
To run up and pet them.
I've seen good ones and I've seen bad ones, but it's not the dog, it's the owner that usually causes the problem. You're talking to a husky owner, so. But you knew that.
I don't really have a negative thought towards pit bulls because I grew up with one. Like my brother has Gideon, who's just the sweetest dog ever. However, you know, I do know that there's a really big stigma attached to them.
I'm fearful. They're huge dogs, very muscular. I'm very scared of them.
They're kind of scary looking, mean, and I heard a lot of story about they attack small kids. That's what I heard about.
Well, I think they're vicious animals, very vicious dogs. They're not that good looking either too. They're short and ugly. But that's it. I just think they're vicious animals.
Pit bulls?
Yes.
I feel scared, kind of. I don't know why. Like their face is just...
Bully breeds are a topic surrounded by controversy. An upsetting amount of people seem to believe that these dogs are naturally more inclined to be aggressive, dangerous, and vicious. However, this isn't the case. Before we can understand the truth about these dogs, it is important to understand exactly what a bully breed is.
It's usually based on physical attributes. They're usually very stocky, muscular dogs with a big jaw tone. They can be anything from pit bulls and Staffordshires to things like boxers, mastiffs, cane corsos, rotties, anything with that kind of build.
Bully breed is the term used to refer to several breeds, including, but not limited to, American Bulldogs, American Pit Bull Terriers, Boston Terriers, Bull Mastiffs, Bull Terriers, English Bulldogs, French Bulldogs, Staffordshire Bull Terriers, Rottweilers, Boxers, and Cane Corsos.
Originally, especially with pits, they were used as nanny dogs a long time ago because they're very gentle and docile. And because of their physical attributes, people started realizing, oh, this might be a dog that we can use for protection. If there's, if they're good for fighting, and they're very tough. They're pretty resilient too.
During the 19th century, these dogs were developed in England, Ireland, and Scotland. They crossed bulldogs with terriers, and the result was a strong, aggressive fighting dog.
So if you take that kind of a dog and you work with it and you create it to fight, then you're going to end up with a fighting dog. But they're not born like that. They're actually very loving, smart, loyal, sweet dogs.
These dogs are often stereotyped as vicious, aggressive dogs. While they do have a lot of strength behind their bite due to their strong jaw muscles, they are actually born naturally very loving, patient, and caring. Despite this, 28 states are currently enforcing laws that ban or restrict the ownership of specific breeds. These laws are called breed-specific legislation, or BSL. These laws are often enforced purely based off of the appearance of a dog. If it looks like a pit bull or has a similar build to one, odds are the dog will face punishment. The dogs the state deems dangerous are often taken away from their homes to be killed. They cannot be owned, sold, or bred, despite the fact that there is no scientific evidence to support the idea that these breeds are born inherently more aggressive than other dogs.
The American Pit Bull Terrier definitely has a bad rap.
They've been banned in Denver and parts of Florida, grounded on certain airlines. Over 500 cities have strict pit bull restrictions, and they are banned in the countries of Great Britain and New Zealand.
Do you believe that in certain states, certain breeds should be banned from being owned?
I don't think that should be allowed, because again, this goes all back to responsibility of owners. If you don't take responsibility of your dog, it's going to bite somebody, regardless of what breed it is. So it has nothing to do with breeds. It has to do with your training and fundamentals at the beginning.
Do you believe that bullied breeds are naturally more inclined to attack or be aggressive?
I wouldn't say so, no, because any dog I see here has the ability to bite. I get more bites from Chihuahuas than I do bully breeds, that's for sure. But I think that any dog can be trained to be any particular way for the most part. People influence that too. Or they'll breed for a trait on a dog that might be a little wary and snappy, which could again be any breed. They just pick those guys because they have the physical attributes to back what they want them to be.
If the aggression is not breed specific, then what is the source of the bad reputation bully breeds get?
Oh, people, all the time. Nobody trains, or if they train the wrong way. And I don't think it has a lot to do with the personality of the dog. Naturally, I think that people can train them to be that way, and people don't take responsibility if they see little behaviors early in puppies, dominating behaviors, chewing behaviors, defiance, that kind of stuff. They either let it go or don't catch it early, or they don't pay attention to their dog physically. And then, like most dogs, when they're in situations where they're at a dog park together, everybody gets all riled up and stuff, this is when somebody just snaps and goes crazy. And it, again, can be any breed, but if it's a pit, it's hard to break up fights like that because they kind of bite and latch on, and it's just kind of a mess if people don't take responsibility for their dogs of any breed.
It is the way they are raised that turns them out to be aggressive towards people.
When asked about why pit bull attacks get so blown out of proportion, veterinarian and animal behaviorist Dr. Ian Dunbar responded by saying, "The majority of dog bites are snaps, but serious dog bites are very rare and almost always due to the egregious incompetence of their owners. The fact is that most bites are fear-based. A dog bites because he's afraid of people. Little dogs bite more often but do less harm. Big dogs bite less often but do more harm. Dogs kill about 20 people in the USA every year. About 12 of those are children. Almost without exception, each incident is a case of amazing negligence directly attributable to the parents of those children. By comparison, 2,000 kids were killed last year by their parents. Do we see much about that sad statistic in the media? No. It's extremely unusual for a dog to kill anyone, but when it does happen, it's news. And yet, when kids are killed by cars or their parents, it's often not news because it happens several times a day." So why does the media focus so much on pit bulls specifically?
Because of their size and their physical stature, and that they can do so much more harm than a little Chihuahua bite could. I mean, even this week in the news, there were 3 or 4 dogs that got picked up and euthanized because they attacked a woman in South Dallas, and it's very similar to what happened last year as well. So that stuff definitely gets a lot of media coverage because of the the severity of the bites that people, or that they can inflict on people and other dogs.
Each year, 1.2 million dogs are euthanized, approximately 40% of whom are pit bulls. This means that nearly 500,000 pit bull type dogs are killed in shelters annually. Of all the common dog types to appear in shelters, pit bulls are by far the most likely to be euthanized, while their chances of adoption are minimal in comparison.
I think people get intimidated about what they have. You know, again, they didn't think about this or train them initially when they were younger and decided to give them up. Or they'll breed them because they know that they're popular and they can sell easily. And so you have all this unchecked breeding and no place to put these dogs when they get done breeding them.
1 out of every 600 pit bulls are statistically likely to find a home. Bully breeds are also more likely to be euthanized in animal shelters because of their breed. A study showed that 75% of municipal shelters in America euthanize pit bulls immediately upon intake. So out of the 599 pit bulls that don't find forever homes, 419 will be killed because they are labeled as pit bulls. Would you say that being labeled as a bully breed affects the dog's chance of being adopted?
Yeah, well, twofold. I think it can have a negative connotation because of lots of media coverage and because of the fact that they're physically very, very strong and they got a lot of energy, so they're going to require a lot of attention and training from whoever adopts them. But I also think that people are very sympathetic towards bully breeds too. It's a very popular dog for rescues to have. You'll go out and you'll see these people who have their pit mix or their little Staffordshire mutt, and they're so proud of the dog that they adopted because they have got such a great personality. Yet those people will champion and sing praises about that particular breed very loudly because they see how good that they can be.
They can be abused in ways that you would not want to really think about, and yet they can come out of that situation and still be able to trust and love people.
Yeah, they're very energetic, they're physically active. My brother has one that's gotta be, oh my goodness, like 14 now, and that dude still runs a couple miles a day with my brother. He used to run 5 or 6, but now at his old age he can still run a couple miles. So physically they're very active. They're really playful. They don't always want to be dominant either. They just need structure like any dog does. Physically, you have to take into account that they can also chew things up and cause some property damage if they're left alone and bored like any dog would. But again, because of the way they are physically, they'll cause a lot more damage. So people just need to make sure that they have the time, the energy, and the commitment to train these guys. And it's really not hard. I don't know. It just comes back to responsibility every single time, and people taking ownership of their pets and raising them and training them properly. That's the case with any dog.
What can we do to fight breed-specific legislation and help save these innocent dogs from harmful stereotypes? If you live in an area that enforces breed-specific legislation, contact your elected representatives and express your opinion on the issue. You can find your elected representatives at openstates.org/findyourlegislator. Spay and neuter your animals. According to the ASPCA, more than 70% of dog bite cases involve the unneutered male dogs. Educate everyone you talk to. Many animal lovers are still unaware of the unjust nature of these laws. Adopt or foster a bully breed. Their shelter death rates are enormous, and every home given to a dog helps. Most importantly, train and socialize your dog. The biggest reason why strong bully breeds are feared is because their owners do not control their behavior. and train them to be friendly and social. Well-behaved canines, particularly breeds or types that are discriminated against, help fight the stigma against many bully breeds. By lending a helping hand, we can help stop bully breeds from being bullied.